Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy 6Shot on the 6Shot Gaming channel, and I am back with another SoulCalibur Fiate. This time it's a SoulCalibur character guide. So I'm going to be calling this series the what to do with so character. So this video is going to be what to do with Azwel, and we're going to go over all his moves in great detail, some stances, so on and so forth. So anyways, let's get started with the video. So the first move we're going to be talking about is his AA. His AA is his fastest punish, to my knowledge. I'm not too sure about the frame data, but I think it may be like 12 frames. So I think his AA is a 12 frame punish. It has the extension. AAA is the extension. When the opponent, you could interrupt the third A though. So just keep that in mind. When you try to go for that A, it definitely can be interrupted. So you could do stagger pressure like AA, and I believe this move may be like +1 on the hit, because it seems to be trading with Taki's AA, and she has the fastest AA in the game. So yeah. So on block, it seems like it might be plus. I'm not too sure though. Sorry if the information is correct, but I'm beating out Taki AA. So. And you see, you can high crush as well. So you can do stuff like AA and down A for a high crush. And if you feel like your opponent is going to retaliate with an attack, you can easily guard impact and go on from there. So next move we're going to be talking about is his forward AA. And his forward AA is very good, as you can see. It has tons of range. And since it's a horizontal attack, it will catch sidesteppers. So as you can see, the distance you can hit this move, it has tons of pushback, and so it's 100% safe. So you can do stuff like this to try to like shenanigans. Since it has good amount of pushback, you can do a little shenanigans after it to try to beat out your opponent's counter attack, as you can see. So it might be +1 or something like that. If it's not plus, it's probably just because of the pushback you're able to do stuff like this. And if your opponent tries to sidestep right after they block this move, you do an AA, which will beat them out. Now, the way your opponent can avoid this move is just backdashing after it. If you do a backdash, it won't work. But if you do another forward AA, it will catch the backdash. So that's very good. Another thing about this move is that both hits of this move is a high. But don't worry, because if your opponent blocks this move standing, in jails, so they cannot duck until forward AA comes out. So that, at least that's one very good thing. Alright, so moving on to another move. So say we need a mid, that's a horizontal move. So we have this. So this is down forward A, and it has almost the same range of the first hit of forward AA. Sorry, y'all, I'm sick. So that's pretty good. Only thing is, it's a little bit on the slower side. But if you need a mid for horizontal move, this will be the one for you to use. All right. The only thing about it is that if you hit with this move, you don't have advantage. You're actually negative after this move. So I could do a down A to beat at like the high crush or AA, but nothing else I do could beat out anything Taki's doing. So you're negative on the move. Another move we're gonna be talking about is the forward A. So forward A is very good, especially when you use the back BB, because forward A is a mix-up, right? So the mix-up is basically, you like to sidewalk a lot. 4-4-8 is a horizontal attack, so it's going to catch sidesteppers. So that's where the mix-up comes in. So moving on, next move we're going to talk about is the back A. Back A is a horizontal move, and of course it catches sidesteppers, and he does a little back step, so a little bit of evasive in that move, as you can see. And it's a move that puts you in spare mode, or spare mode. The other moves put you in axe mode. This one puts you in spare mode, and we're gonna talk more about that later. But yeah, catch sidesteppers. And has a built-in parry like in the very beginning of it. So you see that shield he does when he backs up for the move? That shield has a parry window to high attacks. I don't think it does against kicks though. But any high attack has a parry window to it. So now we're gonna be talking about down back A. Down back A is a low, and it's a spare mode type of move as well, and it has pretty much the same range of back A. As you can see, it can hit from pretty far. It is a very good low, so I would use this move a lot. And it hits sidesteppers as well, so that's very important. So yeah, so moving on from there, it also has a parry option as well. So almost a lot of his spare mode attacks has parries. The timing just is different from when you could parry. Now, if you're gonna be talking about the MVP move here, the MVP move here is his down A. His down A is very good in this game. It's one of the moves you're gonna be using the most. It's a good interrupter. It has some decent range. It could go into his stance cancel after his down A. When it hits, it gives you plus frames. So yeah. So, and it also high crushes. That's another thing. So you could do stuff like this. You could do down A into forward K into his axe stances and do a whole bunch of mixes like that. So yeah, you could do a situation where you do down A into forward K, and then depending on if you read the opponent's gonna sidestep, you could do his A follow-up out of axe mode, and then if you read that they're gonna try to reversal edge or GIU, you could do his B follow-up out of his axe mode. So this is just a very good tool to use, and I basically praise you to abuse this. Abuse down A because you have frame advantage off of it. Now the only thing is, since axe mode basically 4K beats out the high crushes, but if they do a mid, you're going to get hit. So if your opponent starts doing a vertical attacks, you could do back K out of the down A, and you could avoid some of the vertical attacks, depending on the range and so on and so forth. And then you just have regular K, and this is very good if the down A hits, because regular K cannot be interrupted. So if you go down A to stance K, so down A KK, that cannot be interrupted, and they try to attack you, then they're going to get hit, and then you get a full combo from there, as you can see. So this is very good. So this is very important in Azwel's game. There's a lot of stuff he could do that you end up just trading and stuff like that. He has so much frame advantage. A lot of stuff is just guaranteed. Another thing is that he has some options out of sword stance to catch sidesteppers. Sword stance K and sword stance AA will catch sidesteppers, while sword stance B kind of high crushes a little bit. It has some high crushing properties, and it like lunges at your opponent, but it's definitely gonna avoid sidesteppers. So just be aware about that. So another thing I want to talk about, I'm kind of going back now. Sword stance, not sword stance, and his AAA, right? The little spinning top move. That move is punishable, but only to characters that have, I think Taki, I'm not too sure. I think Taki's AA is 10 frames. So it's only punishable by 10 frames, I think, or maybe 11. But if your character does not have a 10 frame or 11 frame move that could punish that move, like a Taki, like normal, then it's completely 100% safe. So moving on, we're going to be talking about his B normals, or his vertical normals. So we had BB. BB is pretty okay. It's a natural hit combo. Has some range, and it has a hitbox that hits kind of upwards, so if they end up doing any type of jumping attack, it can kind of hit them out of. Then it has the extension as well, and if the third hit hits you, it puts you to a state where you get a little mini combo. So yeah, that's pretty good. And you can also do these moves by itself. You could do, and to do it by yourself, you do a forward AB, and to do the spinning top move, you do like any type of like forward AB, back AB, You can even do sidestep AB and that move comes out. So now, I'm sorry guys, I'm very sick. So now, instead of, you know how the back AB is unsafe to Taki, forward AB is not unsafe. So you could do this move and be 100% safe. So if you know that your opponent is going to try to retaliate with attacks at that, you could do guard impact and so on and so forth. So that's a little good strategy. So another important move of Azwel, even though it can be interrupted up close as you can see, is BA. BA is very, very good because normally, right, I'm going to set this here in a second. Hold on. I'm going to set this so you can sidestep on hit. So normally when you do like BBB, since it's linear, you could sidestep, right? And that's the way to go, right? Like you see a person do BBB, you can sidestep and boom, you're gonna get hit and stuff like that. But when you do BA, if I could get it correctly, when you do BA, it catches sidesteppers. So that's very, very, very good. So the next move we're gonna be talking about is his forward B. His forward BB. So his forward B, especially by itself, is okay. It's pretty good. The fact that the range is ridiculous, as you can see. Look at the range on that move. I'm so far away from my opponent, and the range is ridiculous. Now, when you end up following up with the other B, it causes a knockdown. But the thing is, this move can be blocked. It's not a natural hit combo, and hell, it's not even a counter hit on combo. So that's the one bad thing about this move. But, well, as you can see, it's not even a counter hit combo. But the one thing good about this move is that it's plus on block. If you end up blocking the second part of BB, it's plus on block. So let me see if I want to show this right now. I'm gonna put him to attack and let's see what happens. So I do the move and it puts him into crouch. So as you can see, I'm able to get a free BBB right after. I can even able to do 4 BB again like that, and it kind of jails. But as you can see, I can get down 4 BB for a combo right after. So that's pretty good. So since it has a gap, you can interrupt it. So because he does go airborne, and sometimes you gotta watch out with using this close to the ring edge because you can ring yourself out with this move. And also you could guard impact it or critical edge. Anything with a gap you could critical edge. So that's why I'm not showing a lot of like, oh, you could also critical edge this. You could critical edge. And you could also sidestep this move as well because it's linear, because it's a B attack, it's vertical. So yeah, you just gotta be worried about that. But since you can sidestep this move, he has a lot of moves in his move list that has like counter attacks to his weaknesses. So for a BA, as you can see, catches sidestep. Only thing is there is a gap in between this as well. So you could guard impact. So if you're playing against Azwel and you see this move, I guess the best thing you should do is to guard impact, because you're gonna be able to beat out both options. So one thing about the 4BA is that even though it looks like it should be plus on block, it's not plus on block at all. You don't have advantage at all. So if you try to attack right after they block this move, you're 9 times out of time gonna get hit. So like I just showed you an example, you could do a guard impact to avoid stuff like that. And even when you do it with a slower BB, you still get hit. So you considerably are minus on block. You're still safe, but you're minus on block. Even when you hit, but I think off a counter hit you're plus range. But it's very, very weird, as you can see. I think when you do it perfectly, like as you've seen, there was like a just frame thing there. You're able to attack right after, and so on and so forth. So the next move we're gonna be talking about is this down forward B, and I believe this move, I'm not too sure about the frames about this move, but it might be around like 20 frames for a launcher. And this is a launcher, and as you can see, the range on this move is ridiculous. Like, so if you fall away, you could use move. As you can see, that's where you're out of range at. But you could hit this move from pretty far, and you get a little guaranteed combo from there. So This is a very good move. Only thing about this move is that there is a gap. But the thing with this gap is that if your opponent tries to attack, they will get hit. But since it's also linear, they could easily sidestep it. And since there is a gap, they could critical edge or dart impact it as well. So just keep that in mind. So the next move we're going to be talking about is Azwel's down BB. This move is very good if it hits because it can be stance canceled into his sword stance, and then from there you can continue on for a combo for guaranteed hits. So the guaranteed moves as guaranteed after down BB is his stance cancel, sword stance K, and his sword stance AA. Now, if this move is blocked, this move can be punished, as you can see. But depending on the character, so on and so forth, there's ways to make this move safe. So like say the opponent has a short range BB and they try to punish you with that, you could do spare, you could cancel to your spare mode and backdash and punish accordingly. The only thing is, if they go for a fast AA, like Taki has fast fade AA, spare mode would get beaten out. So since AAs are highs, you can go into axe mode and high crush the highs and punish accordingly, just like so. So yeah, these are some things to just keep in mind. So let me set the dummy up to just regular stand. So next move we're gonna be talking about is his forward BB, and his forward BB is very good. The reason because it is because look at the range of it. Look at the range of his forward BB. Like, of course you can't hit from this range, but if I'm in this range and you with an attack, if I'm quick with it, I'm gonna punish you. This forward BB is very good, and guaranteed follow up after it is his forward BB. His forward BB, knock him down, keep him right in front of you, and if they block the move also, it's like it's so much. I don't know if it's plus, but since there's so much pushback on the move, you can do a lot of stuff. Now, apparently, what I was just trying to do was not working. Like, I was trying to see if forward AB or forward AD would work, but no. But you could definitely do, and they try to retaliate back with lows or anything like that, you could definitely do down forward BB and it will connect. So yeah, forward BB is very, very good. And when you're max range and stuff like that, I would throw this move out there, especially when you throw it together with all your other max range moves and so on and so forth. So next move we're gonna talk about is his down back BB. Now his down back BB is a spare mode attacking move, and the first hit is a low and the second hit is a mid. It's not a natural hit combo, but it's a natural counter hit combo, as you can see. And it's an okay move. If you need a low or just a quick low like that, you could throw that move out there. And I don't use this move a lot. The only time I really use this move is combo purposes, but it's okay. It's not that bad of a move. Now, next move we're gonna be talking about is his back B attack, and this is also a spare mode attack as well. And it's a break attack. Now, normally break attacks are plus on block, but this break attack is not plus on block. I think it's show right here because Taki doesn't have the range to contest. But if I was using another character, I would get beaten out. Or if it is plus on block, it's +1. It's not really a lot of plus on block. But I honestly don't believe my testing with other characters, I was getting beaten out when I did his move, so I don't think it's plus on block. But it's still a pretty good break attack. This is one of your break attacks that has a lethal hit to it, and I will show that off later on in the video. But yeah, it's okay, and it's pretty quick, and you can do stuff like this since you're going to be in spare mode, and we're going to talk more about that later. So another move we're going to be talking about is his back B. Alright, so his back B is very, very good. If you're up close, it's not that good, but when you far away, it's very good because if it hits, you get a lethal hit, and you get a mini combo from there, and that's very, very good. You could do regular, just like you could do regular down for a B, or you could do forward for B, or you could do down back A. But if you want to get really good with it, you could do down back BB and get another hit from there. I kept messing up because I was trying to figure out what to do. But yeah, the combo should be coming up right now. Yeah, so you do this until we put down back BB into down back A. You can also do this into forward B. That also works out well. So the reason why this is a good move, because when you throw these two moves together, you do forward A and you do forward and you do back B. These two moves are good together because at max range your opponent is gonna be sidestepping. So when you throw that out, you're probably gonna miss. So you throw a forward A to catch the sidestep, make them stop moving, and then so on and so forth. So now we're gonna be talking about his K attacks, and his K attacks is his stances, Azwel stances. So he has forward K for axe mode, he has back K for spear mode, and he has regular K, like neutral K, for sword mode. Sorry. And then he has some follow-up attacks out of these moves as well. In sword stance, he has a lot of follow-up moves. He has AAA out of sword stance, and then he has AAB. Now, the only two hits that's guaranteed is the A's, but these are natural hit, natural counter hit combos. So if you hit as a counter hit, you could link into AAA or AAB. So yeah, these two moves will hit if it's a natural counter hit, and they both cause, well, AA doesn't cause knockdown, but the B version does. So moving on from there, you have Stance B. Stance B causes a knockdown. It has a little bit of high crushing properties because he ducks down a little bit. And then you have Stance K. Stance K is an attack counter hit and a run counter hit, and you can get a combo from there. But on regular hit, it does a combo. So just keep that in mind. Then you have Stance BK, and Stance BK is a launcher and a projectile at the same time. And if one hits the other, I'm not too sure on the range. I was only really doing it at this range. I'm pretty sure full string you won't hit, but as you can see, you get a juggle from there as well. So yeah. And then you have Stance AB, and that's the regular break attack. So now we're going to be talking about spare mode, and you do spare mode by backing K, and the first follow-up is spare mode A, and then he has a follow-up from there, spare mode A and B. Now I'm going to show right now that this is not a natural hit combo, but it is a counter hit combo. So yeah, that's okay. It's a pretty good move. The next move we're gonna be talking about is spare mode BB. This is pretty good because it has the parry property on it if you time it right. I'm not gonna show it here though because it takes so much time. But yeah, and the one thing about it is that you could step the second hit to the left, but you cannot step the second hit to the right. So that's a very good thing to know. And then you just have spare mode forward B, and instead of him doing the two hits, he just automatically throw the shield at you. And yeah, that's okay projectile as well. It's linear though, so you can definitely step it. And since there is a gap between spare mode BB, you can definitely guard impact or critical edge. So another move we have is spare mode BK. Now spare mode BK it's like a launcher. It looked like it's a launcher, but you cannot do nothing after that. So it's mainly there are some combos where you're gonna be ending in spare mode where you could use this as the ender. So just remember that. So it's not a launcher at all, it's basically a ender of sorts. Well, like that. Another thing about this move is that, if I could time this correctly, it has a parry guard impact into it. It has an auto GI, so that is very good as well. So anytime you do a spirit mode move, you could do this beat. You could do BK, and it'll be an auto GI. So moving on, we're gonna be talking about axe mode. And axe mode has, to me, it's probably the best mode. It has a lot of utility. So you do this by pressing forward and the K button, and you can do this especially. And this is very, very good to use off of his down A, like we talked earlier. So axe mode A is a break attack that's horizontal. Then you have axe mode B, and this is a break attack that's a vertical attack, and it launches, so you get combos from there. So that's very good from there. Then you have axe mode K, and this is a low kick attack that low crushes, and he does like a little spinning breakdance move and stuff like that. And then you also have axe mode BK, and that's a low as well, and it goes into like a little grab muscle busting animation. So that's a good low as well. So Taki, this break attack is plus, but for some reason Taki seems like she's, well, at least when I'm trying to like frame trap it with my launcher, I'm not able to launch against Taki. I'm able to do it if she uses like a slower move, but against almost everybody else in the cast, besides, I think Sophie has like a quick AA as well, like very fast AA as well. But everybody else, basically, when you do that move, you get beaten out. Now, the A version of his break attack is not plus at all against nobody in the cast. I think it's just neutral. So you're gonna have to do stuff like if they try to retaliate with a, let's see, they try to retaliate with an A attack. You could do like, you could try to like high crush it, but if they do it like B attacks, as you can see, they're not gonna, maybe you're gonna get hit out. So what you could do is guard impact. It took me a while to get the guard impact. I don't know why it took me that long, but yeah, you could go if you know your opponent's gonna attack right after your horizontal A. You could guard impact and go on from there. So that's always good. And as you can see, you can sidestep as well if you feel like they're gonna do a vertical attack, and so on and so forth. But if they don't do a vertical attack, you can just high crush it. So yeah. Going back to axe mode K, this move is locked, is definitely punishable. So just remember that it is punishable. And yeah, it's punishable. I was gonna add more to it, but yeah, just know it's punishable. But if it does hit, you're at a pretty good advantage. So just remember that. But remember that you're gonna be recovering from crouch. So that's also good to know as well. So yeah. So moving on. Azwel also has some teleports, right? Now you do these teleports by pressing forward, back, or down, left, or up, and any of the kick buttons. So when you press forward in the kick button, you get the axe mode. When you press back in the kick button, you get the spirit mode. And when you press up, and basically sidestepping in any direction in the kick button, you get the sword stance mode. Now, speaking about sidesteppable moves, we gonna talk about two other sidesteppable moves. So he has his down A, and his down A is a horizontal move, and as you can see, it covers a great deal of distance. As you can see, it really covers the distance. This move is, I believe, unsafe, but you can stance cancel it into what you need to make yourself safe, and so on and so forth. And then the next move we have, we're not moving on yet. So another thing is when this move hits, it turns the opponent back turn. So after that, if you stance cancel, you get a guaranteed AA after that. So that is very, very good. So if you hit it with this move and the opponent gets back turn, you can stance cancel to your sword stance, and get an automatic AA. So that's very, very, very good. And if they're trying to attack right out of it, then you can get a natural hit combo if they're trying to attack. So that's very, very good. So as you see, all the stuff you can do from there, you can do AAB, AAA, so on and so forth, and they get hit by a natural hit. They try to do anything at all after that, they're gonna get hit. You can also cancel to all the other stances like the spirit mode, and axe mode, and so on and so forth. And axe mode is pretty good also when you hit with this. When you go back into AB, it hits as well, so it's pretty good. Sometimes you get stuffed out though, but for the most part, it's alright. And going to the axe mode is not really that great, but you can hit with a couple stuff as well, as you can see. So yeah. Now moving on. Now we're gonna be moving on to Sidestep B, and Sidestep B is very, very good and is one of his lethal hits. But yeah, so when you hit with Sidestep B, you can stance cancel as well, and you can get a full combo of AAA or what is it? A or AB? Yeah, that's a move. AB or AAA, as you can see. And when the opponent blocks his move, it's pretty safe. I don't know if it's safe. I can't remember, but yeah, you can get a lot of stuff going. The only thing you can't get is Sidestep B, sword stance cancel B. You can't get that down. But another thing about sword stance, right, which I didn't talk about really much earlier, is that you could do sword stance AA and then cancel into another sword stance or any type of stance period, as you can see. So you can do sword stance AA, cancel into what you want to, and you just keep it going. So you can do sword stance AA, sword stance AA, sword stance AA, sword stance forward, sword stance AA, forward K, axe mode, do whatever you want from there. So just remember, AA and sword stance can be canceled into another type of stance mode. So just remember that. So next we're gonna be talking about some jumping attacks, some of Azwel jumping attacks. So Azwel has a up back A, and this is a jumping low that puts you into spirit mode, and then he has up forward A, and this is a very good jumping low that puts you into axe mode. So both these move high crushes, and then he has up back B, and this is a move that mini launches. You can't really get nothing in it besides if you want a wall like that, and this puts you in spirit mode after you win. And remember that in spirit mode, after the spirit mode happens, you have moves that you can get the auto GI from and stuff like that. So these are good mix-ups. This is a very good mix-up if you use it correctly, especially at the wall. And then you have up forward B, and up forward B is it's okay. It's probably the worst one out of the three. So yeah, but it puts you in axe mode. So now we're gonna talk about basically the modes and why do I keep saying it puts you into this mode and so on and so forth. So example, when I use my B, my forward B, right, I use my axe move, right? So now whenever I use my BK, and I can move around and do whatever I want and so on and so forth, but whenever I decide to use my BK, I will always do my axe mode BK. So it kind of is like you do the move and then it stores the move for you until you're ready to use it, or whenever and you do a different move. So now if I do my spirit mode and I do my BK, it's going to do my spirit mode BK, and so on and so forth. I do the axe, I move around, and this goes for A plus B too. Whenever I use my axe and I do A plus B, it's going to do my spirit mode A plus B. So this is only the case for your A plus B moves and your B plus K moves when you use any of the moves, right? Now the difference is when you use your axe version, and you can keep on using the axe over and over and over. When you use A plus B, you can keep on doing that over and over. It's going to keep it, and it's always going to keep you in that mode until you use your B plus K. So to really like sum it up, you store the move by doing it regular wise, right? Once you use your B plus K, you lose access to that move. But when you do when you do another move again, you get back into that mode, and so on and so forth. Now there's also a third mode, and the third mode is called Mighty, and you do this mode by doing forward A and B or forward A B. Now the difference with this mode is that you could choose what move you want to go into, right? You do this by pressing the direction of the mode, right? Of the move. So if I do this and then I press forward and B plus K, is going to be in axe mode. For any type of forward, B plus K is going to be axe mode. I do the spinning top move or whatever like that, and I hold back B plus K, I'm going to be doing my spear mode B plus K. So yeah, and if I hold up in B plus K, I mean after I do that move, and if I hold up and B plus K, is going to be doing my sword stance and any of the moves out of there, B plus K. So just keep that in mind. So moving on from that long-winded explanation, hopefully I understood that. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about the move I'm showing right now, which is up A plus B. So this move is pretty good. It's very evasive. It low crushes, it mid crushes, and it also high crushes. Well, let me not say it like that, because if a move with an upwards hitbox, it could definitely get hit out of. But it's pretty evasive to moves that's very, very linear, that doesn't really have a huge hitbox. Only thing about this move is it's unsafe on block. So just keep that in mind. So now we're going to be talking about while rising moves and crouching moves. So while rising A, this is while rising A. This is while rising B. And those moves are pretty good. And this is crouching down forward A, and this is crouching down forward B, and both of those is axe mode moves, and you could do and you're in axe mode after you do those moves. So yeah, these moves are unsafe on block. The B version is safe on block, but the A, while rising A, is unsafe on block, while rising B is safe on block. You also have a crouching down B. If I can get it right, yeah, you also have a crouching down B, and that high it crushes. So yeah. So moving on, what's the next one? Moving on, we're gonna be talking about his down A plus B. Down A plus B is pretty good. It's a low. It has some range on it, so it can hit. And if it hits, you are 1+ on hit. But not by that much, I believe. You only plus probably like 1, so yeah. Now we're gonna be moving on to Soul Charge, and all about Soul Charge and what's good about Soul Charge, so on and so forth. So Azwel, first thing in Soul Charge, Azwel has his A plus B, and it has the forms of all of his weapon attacks, period. Then he has his forward or 8-way run A plus B, and this move is very, very good. This move causes wall splats, and it rings out. Before it didn't do that, but now it does. So that's very, very good. And the extension is the same. The properties is the same exact way as well. In the regular like AAA versions, it has all the same properties. So yeah. Now, the one thing about this move is that if you block it, it's also a break attack, and it's plus on block now. So that's very, very good. It's a break attack, and it's plus on block. You should abuse this move in Soul Charge. You should abuse them you almost period anyways, because only a couple people could block it. Now, or punish it, sorry. Now, we're going to be talking about his forward A plus B. It's pretty much the same thing. It's plus on block. It's a break attack, and it causes a really big combo in Soul Charge. Now, as you can see, I dropped the combo right there. That was really bad. But oh yeah, and then he also has changes to his up A plus A, AB. His up A plus B move had changes. It causes a knockdown. You can't really get much off of it, but it still does a really good amount of damage. So yeah, going back to the combo I was trying to show earlier, if you connect with your forward A plus B, you could do a combo like this, and it does tons of damage. And to my knowledge, this is most damaging combo outside of the wall, and it does half health, so that's pretty good. And then even if you don't have another bar meter to do the combo, you can also do stuff like this, and this will connect as well. So this is Azwel and Soul Charge is pretty damn beastie. So I pretty much cover a lot in this guide. So I just want to give you an example of some combos you could do. So I'm going to let the combos rock out, and then I'll be back with y'all at the end of this segment. Alright, I'm back. Hopefully those combos are able to spark your brain and get you a good understanding of how his combos work. But now he's going to be talking about reversal edges and what you can do off every single version of the reversal edge. So reversal edge A, you can do this. Those are the two hits you could catch off of if you hit with regular, if you win out with the A version. Now, when you get to the second round of his A version, you get something else. You get this as a full combo. So keep that in mind. So reverse edge B, you get this, and that's a single hit. If you just press B by itself, you get that as a single hit. If you press B twice, you get this. It's for a mini combo, so keep that in mind. And the second round of reversal edge B does this. Basically, you get the guard break, so make sure you don't spam B and make sure you get your full damage you could get off of it. And reversal edge K does this. You dodge all type of, you dodge A attacks, B attacks, and kick attacks. When you do reverse edge K, it's a teleport, so you dodge all type of attacks. Sometimes you can even punish in certain situations, but you can be punished if your opponent is strictly guard, so keep that in mind. So real quick, I'm just going to explain all the lethal hits of Azwel's, and I'm just going to do it through the move list. So this lethal hit happens when your opponent crouch guards and you do down for a BB. As you can see, you can read it right there. And that's how that lethal hit happens. The back B lethal hit happens after a guard impact, after your opponent gets put off balance through a guard impact. Now it's pretty weird. It doesn't triggers automatically after any guard impact. It seems to really only happen, from what I tested, to only happens after you have done the back B and then guard impact moved. Then you could count. You could do a counter hit from there. Now all these other lethal impacts is very easy. Whenever your opponent does a critical or reversal edge or a guard impact, and you do any of your A and B moves, it puts them into a lethal hit. This is triggered by hitting the opponent that is sidestepping, and this is his sidestepping A, so that's very easy. And from there you could go into any, you cancel to any instances to extend the combo from there. So this is pretty an easy lethal hit to get out. This is Sidestepping Be Lethal Hit, and you do this by basically your opponent whiffing a vertical attack. Well, I think any attack period, but most likely it's gonna come from a vertical attack. And yeah. Now this is his back Be Lethal Hit, and I showed this off earlier. You get this lethal hit by hitting your opponent from a very far distance with his back B move, and you get the same with the charge version. So yeah. And this lethal hit is, you can catch this lethal hit by catching your opponent, and this, you can only do this, no, you can do this outside of soul charge, I think. So how you do this one is basically after you hit your opponent, well, all 3 attacks, so you catch them with the spear mode, the sword mode, and the axe mode. If you ever hit your opponent with this move, it triggers lethal hit. So that's not that hard to do either. So this is a pretty good lethal hit to do. And you can do this in soul charge as well. So keep this in mind. Another lethal hit is after you break the opponent's guard, you guard crush the opponent. If you do sword stance B, it creates a lethal hit. So that's good as well. You're not gonna be seeing that much, but you're gonna be seeing this one a lot. This is axe mode B, and it catches guard impacts and reversal edges. And this is a lethal hit from his reversal edge. This is you hitting with A in the second round, and it shows that you could go into all the stances as well. So example, you catch them, boom, you hit with the lethal hit A and reversal edge in the second round, and then you can sword stance cancel, and then yeah, and this is just basically showing the rest of them. And yeah, that's pretty much it for all the lethal hits. But yeah, folks, that's pretty much the end of the road of this video. SoulCalibur, what to do with Azwel. Hopefully you was able to enjoy the video, and if you did enjoy the video and learn something new, please smash the like button. I greatly appreciate it. This video is pretty long, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing these videos like edited style anymore, or just do it, record it, and then talk about the moveset stuff like that. I don't know what I'm going to do. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comment section. But besides that, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you check out some of the past content. Make sure to hit the notification bell to get alerted every single time I drop a new vid for y'all. Also, make sure to check the description box below if you want to help support my channel in any type of way at all. But anyways, hope all you have a nice day. Peace.